What's up, everybody? It's your favorite, you can get with this or you can get with that's favorite nerd, and today we are looking at a comparison between the recently released Igear Ramjet and the Igear Ramjet to Masterpiece scale. I threw in the G1 just for good measure. I chewed on this as a kid. I chewed on all of those as a kid. Anybody else do that? I definitely did. So we see that the Igear one definitely makes the same, draws from this inspiration for the arm cannons from the G1 toy, and this bit's here, down in there, and whatnot. But I just wanted to have that in there for good measure. So let's take a look at these guys. Let's start with the overall appearance, and then we'll get into articulation. We'll do the jets, come back for some final thoughts. So I think that the head is arguably a little big here, but I think it's way more proportionate than this little head that's up here. I like the color of the windshield much better here than here. I think the silver paint where it's applied shows up better here than here. The red paint here is applied nicely. I like this better than that, but that's more accurate, and I don't care for all this. That's a little extra. It's a little too much. It starts looking like a Tetris game, and those are the bricks falling. This is from the old style of MP Seeker, so there's, aesthetic differences, there, throughout. Before, but this was actually a game changer for those that don't know. There's things that the present day modern MP Seeker has now as a result of these guys, or the Igear Seeker in general, and it's just changed the game, which was cool. But let's focus on these two. So we get the red paint down here. I think that is actually a bit sharper than nothing over here, and I don't feel like that's excessive. I feel like that kind of works. And then the feet are, the white with the black versus the all black. So that's pretty much that. And then this has this metallic. It's a really nice metallic paint finish on the wings, and the wings have this bend in them, which I also like. And then we'll talk about the kind of deco on the wings as we get to jet mode. And then it has this flap here as well that the other one doesn't have. But this has a really nice paint finish on it, and this one does not. This one, because of the, I don't know. I feel like this one stands better. It's easier to get them in a standing position than it is this one. This one kind of wobbles around a bit. It might be because this has the, it should have the heel spur. We'll just go ahead and get that out now. And the other one does not. Or does it? Maybe I have done that one wrong as well. Probably have. Let's check. Yep. Oh no, this is the old kind, so this doesn't flip out. Is that right? Yep. So that's a bummer for sure. All right, so there's those sorts of things. As the head flops here too, so that's less than optimal, and it flops here as well, so that's not good either. You get this a little bit of up, a little bit of down, side to side works fine. Here you get all the way up and all the way down. You hit up against the chest and side to side, but you do break up the sculpt. The head sculpts themselves, I think the Hasbro one really did a superior job, and the black paint on the face there I feel gets lost on the Igear one. Moving down, we have the same white paint applied here and here, both done fairly well. I do prefer the Takara one. The arms, he has the black sleeves, which is toy accurate, but not tune accurate. There's that. Articulation wise for the shoulders, universal joint here and here, ratchet this way, nothing this way, bicep swivel, double jointed elbow, wrist swivel, fingers, same exact finger articulation here, bicep swivel, double jointed elbow, and same exact articulation for the arms, and El Total. Same problems with the waists. He does not have the waist flaps, he does, so let's talk about the hip articulation. It still gets jammed up, so you don't really gain anything. You just gain a little bit of an aesthetic, arguably. And then forward, yeah, I feel like you get a little bit more here. But it's not insane. Yeah, I think you get a little bit more with the Igear. Double jointed knees on this guy, which we just looked at recently. Double jointed knees here as well, but both are ratcheted as opposed to just here where the top one is not and the bottom one is. Let's get sorted. For the feet, we have this swivel here, which actually gets you a rocker. Here, you have the swivel at the bottom, which does not get you a rocker. So that's something to think about. And then this is on the same ball peg as the Masterpiece. And then you don't get the heel spur. But you have all these wings here, which help support him. But I have noticed a hard time standing the Igear ones from time to time as I've been like dusting my shelves and what have you. You do get the thrusters here. They're hidden, obviously, here due to transformation, so that's cool. Obviously, the cartoon accurate null ray versus the more toy homage shoulder weapon there. On the back, neither of them are pretty. You do get an extra piece of black paint there, and you get the added wing paint on this guy. So that's where they are in terms of articulation. Materials wise, he feels better. You can hear that, and you can hear that just the sound of the plastic bumping against. It's more of a higher pitch, so that's that. And there they are, both together in jet mode. And there's a number of things that I like about each. I love the metallic paint finish on these wings. It looks so much more striking than this kind of just flat plastic. But I do love this black nose cone as opposed to the white nose cone. This does make the front end of this pop a lot more. And you get the black stripe down the center. That looks really good too. I think I prefer these kind of missiles over those. But there is a ton of love here that isn't in there. And I do like this cockpit more. When I was looking at them, I was like, man, I wonder if I could swap them. But you can't. They're different. They're not the same mold in that regard. There's a lot of other places where they are the same. But yeah, they're, this is the older style. I feel like it was right. Whatever. This is the older style Masterpiece jet. It was interesting for me to see them both back to back. This feels a lot more. This feels a lot lighter than this, but we'll weigh them and see where it's at. But this has a lot more heft to it. But they're not. They're both good. They both have some interesting things going on. There's a lot like the paint that's on the Igear one is a lot more, and it's a lot more like passionate. So men lie, women lie, numbers don't. That's the Takara coming in at 0.758. 0.758. And the Igear .718. So very close. They both have the same kind of die-cast parts, so that makes sense. But I will tell you that the Masterpiece definitely feels more solid. So overall, I feel like the Takara one definitely has the Igear one beat. But the question comes down to price in terms of this conversation, right? Because the Takara one ends up being around 170-ish, and the Igear one, I think, retailed for around 100. Then it went up to like 200 or 300 a piece, and then now they're coming back down. So if they're the same price, I definitely recommend Takara. If the Igear one is $100 cheaper, like if you can get the Igear one for $100, I think he's worth $100. I don't think that he's the best choice, but I think he's worth $100. And I'm not sure if Ramjet is worth $200 or 170 or whatever. So that's something that you have to decide on your own. As far as how important is this character and how important is the very tune accurate representation of this character to your shelves. Quality wise, they're both kind of in the same ballpark. Accessory wise, they're both kind of in the same ballpark. General aesthetic, paint, the Igear has it beat. It really comes down to your personal preference. But I will say that my Igear one is going in jet mode and sitting to the side, and my Takara one is going on my shelf because my Takara one nails the look a bit more. Neither one of them are worth $200 in my opinion. So you know, if you're struggling, if it's a price situation and you're really struggling with the price, I think either one of them at a good deal is worth the price, if that makes sense. But if you're going to shell out the $200, you might as well go with the Takara one. Does that make sense? Hope so. Oh, Skit. You know, the more I look at these Takara's releases, the more I like kind of like depressed I get about this line, man. And like, you know, sometimes I feel like just giving up reviews, but then something magical happens.
You know, I think I'm just gonna give it all up. You know, people are upset if I like something. They're upset if I hate something. I just don't know how to act. I guess I should ask everyone with their own little opinions how I should feel about something I look at. I'm just gonna give it up. But it looks like I got a box from someone. Dear Skullface, my son and I watch your reviews constantly, and we love what you do. We have a good time watching them together. We made you this little keepsake. Hope you enjoy it. Well, whatever could that be? Oh my. I guess I'll keep doing it because I don't want to let the little fella down. Thank you guys.
But in all seriousness, that was a pretty touching gift and will be treasured. Shout out to Chris and his son for making that for me. They gave it to me in a JCC, and it was pretty awesome. It's going to be a bookend on my shelves down in the basement. So thank you. And to the viewers, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.